So I think the biggest thing that I'm hearing out of here too, like, and to go to your question too, when you said about some things that could help a relationship, because I think the biggest thing really is communication at the end of the day. You know, how we actually talk to each other. Are we actually open? Are we hitting the issues on the head, or are we beating around the bush? And I think whether it's whether we're talking about relationships that are in business, whether we're talking about relationships that are personal, whether they're intimate, whatever it may be, family, friends, your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it may be. And I think, as much as this podcast is about men, I think this is just also a people thing too. Communication at the end of the day is very vital. If we can't openly have a dialogue and civilly be able to portray what we're thinking and our emotions of what we're feeling to somebody in a way that they're able to understand it. And I think there's two ways. It's a two-way street on communication is a big thing too. A lot of people think about like, oh, I got to be a good talker. I got to know how to talk. I got to do this. You also have to be aware about how the other person's perceiving what you're saying, right? So if I'm going to talk to you, something I'm going to say is going to be a completely different way of how I'm going to talk to you, of how I'm going to talk to you, or how you're going to talk to me, or how you're going to talk to him. Everybody's going to have a different way of communicating to each other. Are we consciously aware of the other person's emotion? Are they in a receiving state, or are they too angered? Are they too upset? Are they too flustered with whatever's going on that they're not in a ready state to receive it? Okay, what is our responsibility then in that role side of things? So I think along with communication, being conscious of the person that's receiving the message, making sure that they're in a receiving state. And if it takes us actually taking the initiative, and as men, we should take the initiative on making sure that we're providing a comfortable environment for whoever we're having a dialogue, whether it's a conversation, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's your partner, we should be responsible for that initiating piece, so that once we can quell those emotions down, once we can quell the situation, whatever it may be that's causing the distress, we can focus on the root cause of the problem through thorough communication, through respectful dialogue. And I think one of the big things that I learned in life is that when you're talking to somebody, there's two things that you have to speak to. One is the mind. So to speak to the mind, you have to speak logically, right? You have to make it make sense. And that's one thing that we're very good at as men, I feel like, in general, right? We're good at logic. We're good. Everything is based on logic. But one thing that we also have to understand that not everybody communicates on the wave spectrum of logic too. Some people communicate from the heart. So when speaking to the heart, make sure to speak softly, because that's the big key right there. Sometimes the soft-spoken message delivered in the right way can also make the big impact, right? So how you're speaking to somebody, so it's also not, they say, not what you say, it's how you say it. All these things, all these cliches are all very true. Be conscious of who you're speaking to.
So,
right?
I mean, I think empathy is one of the biggest, or most slept on, emotions when dealing with or building the relationship. Understanding kind of what you just said, understanding where the person you're speaking to or you're trying to build a relationship with is.
Yeah.
If I'm, I'm up, my blues are up, my bank account's rolling with zeros, I'm looking good, and I'm going to speak to someone who can barely buy a sandwich for the kid, they're not going to hear what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I have to be empathetic in my approach to them. Yeah. How I deliver, again, piggybacking off of that, how I deliver that message. And my favorite word, as you all know, is respect. Mm-hmm. That'll show that person that I don't see myself better. I don't see myself as more. Not necessarily humble, because humble to me is a complete crock of crap, but being more so just sympathetic. Start leading with empathy, understanding. I like to call it CNC, communication and comprehension, because you can communicate, but are they comprehending? Are they comprehending what is being said? And pretty much those are my two main building blocks. And once you set that, again, foundation is everything. Once you set that foundation with someone, you have endless opportunities.
Right. Because you gain their trust.
Right.
Yeah. I like it, man.